Hey guys, Lukey here. This is coach of your Olivine City Beacons, and we're looking at week 4 postcom, week 3 of DPDL Low Tier. And my opponent this week is Tiger. His showdown name is ZSG. He's coach of the Wonder Pets, and I'm pretty sure Tiger's new to the league, and he's been absolutely taking lives here. He completely decimated James Vivid, who, if you've watched the previous video, continues to have my number with a Totemize body press Steelix, which is a really impressive set. And so I'm looking at his team, and he brought pretty much what I expected. Say what you want about Stall here in low tier, he's got an excellent core for doing it. There's not a lot of fairy dragon steals that work together, but he seemed to find the three that do it the best, with Aromatisse being a top tier, Drudigan being a very high tier, and Steelix being also expensive, but I think even underrated. And then Avalugg, Dusclops, and Simisear. So my team, I thought this week I wanted to get back to basics. I have a Firewater Grass core, and this seemed like a perfect match where I'm not expecting my opponent to bring Trick Room, although it's certainly possible. But I have a couple of options up my sleeve here. So let's take a look at the team, because this is how I want to highlight it. So I've got Magcargo, and Magcargo is my win condition. Let's look at his set. Shell Smash, Lava Plume, Earth Power, Substitute. And I was debating Flamethrower versus Lava Plume. As you'll see in the match, the Lava Plume burns actually did matter because I got more than one of them, and that chip damage really did help. I think there was one situation though where Magcargo would have KO'd with Flamethrower instead of Lava Plume, but live by the sword, die by the sword. And I've got enough EVs that at +2 I outspeed everything on his team that's not Scarfed, and at +4 nothing touches this absolute unit. I had always slept on Magcargo. James Vivid had recommended him, and so far other than I completely threw him away in my previous match against James. In terms of the team building flexibility that he provides with the right support, and I think my team has the right support for him, he's an absolute beast. So let's go into the match. Again, it's been about a week since I played the match, so some of the details are a little fuzzy, but let's get into it. So he leads Dusclops, and I lead Jumpluff, and I'm thinking he doesn't have a grass type on his team, so Jumpluff is going to be another key to victory, and also in supporting Magcargo. My Jumpluff is set up for maximum annoyingness. It's Sub-Leech Seed, Strength Sap, and what's my fourth move? U-turn for some momentum if I got to get out of there. In hindsight, Toxic would have been the better call, definitely, especially given that U-turn really didn't accomplish what I needed it to, but it's the set I rolled with, and it's about learning lessons. So I know that leading Jumpluff, one, Dusclops is going to have a hard time getting ahead of me, and I can set up a substitute and start lead seeding everything because it has Infiltrator, so I don't give two damns about him getting behind a substitute, and all of a sudden that's doing a lot of damage. And Aromatisse comes in, and this is sort of where this is the cycle of the match where had I stuck it out longer and kept Magcargo alive longer, that things would have been different. Because at this point, I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, Jumpluff is in trouble. I don't want it to set up too much. And Magcargo is an absolute hard counter to this set. I hadn't run the calcs to see whether or not I could take, a +6. But you can see there, like, with Leech Seed and whatnot, and Substitute, plus Aromatisse passing those big wishes, that Magcargo gets healed immediately. And I'm in a really good position, and it's a great example of what you're about to see, is getting into a good position and then trying to get greedy and throwing it away, because my opponent, credit to him, was able to pull this back despite being absolutely in the gutter, with Magcargo just continuing to set up. This guy's got he's got absolutely no answer when I'm able to heal 18% per turn. Like, I'm gonna keep riding this out, and especially when I'm at +2. You're going to get into KO range from Magcargo and Lava Plume faster than I'm going to start losing health. Although, in the long run, this was the right play for my opponent, because Magcargo at this point is going to murder or dent everything on his team. He can keep going through and wishing, but he's got to start wearing me down. And he realizes that. Brings in Druddigan. I get the Lava Plume burn. That definitely mattered because it took a big threat out of his team. But all of a sudden, I'm a little gun shy, and yeah, I don't have my White Herb at this point, but I feel pretty confident that I can set up again. And so I bring Jumpluff in. This is where Jumpluff's flying type is actually super handy, because it has the immunity there, and I could just repeat the process. And he's obviously going to do the same, but where he outfoxes me is that he's able to keep Aromatisse alive, and my Magcargo starts to get worn down. And when I don't have Magcargo, Jumpluff doesn't have the cover it has against Aromatisse, because Magcargo's a threat to come in, whereas everything else on the team gets decimated by Fairy. And you can see this game, we're 23 turns in, not a single Pokemon has fainted. We're absolutely stuck in a stall war. I'm trying to find a way around. I bring in Sandslash to try and force the issue. I think, you know what, I need to get rocks up. And just an embarrassing play by me there. And I'd done things in the opposite order, rock and then earthquake. I'm looking way better. And I see that Sandslash, I just don't know how useful it's going to be there. I knock off the boots because I need to keep this thing pressured. I bring in Lantern that can take pretty much anything from this guy. And I'm also fishing for the burn, which worked out. I had a lot of good burn luck here. But Avalugg, even with a burn, just doesn't care. He just takes it, he recovers, right up. I've got my spin blocker, but Oricorio doesn't love Avalanche here, and because I picked Taunt over Calm Mind, I'm just not enough of a threat. Whereas at this point, if I could have had Oricorio come in later against something else and Calm Mind instead of Taunt, it might have been able to work, but I was sort of stuck in this loop where I needed to heal and do damage. Again, another example of me just not using my team to its full potential and bringing options and then not taking full advantage of what I had prepped and brought for. Because here, even a taunt might have changed the tide of battle here. And so I bring in Magcargo. Weak armor activates. I know at this point I'm faster. I try and set up with Substitute. I'm really taking a risk here. He goes for the Rapid Spin and gets rid of the rocks. It's a big moment in the game for him because now Avalugg can come back in for free. And Sandslash is pretty much down for the count. And I've got Magcargo, I'm trying to force through here. I go for the Shell Smash. I'm trying to just force the issue here. And I see Ghost the Wish. I know Dusclops is going to get healed up. But I go for a second Shell Smash. Really, I should have gone for a third one, but I didn't know if he was Shadow Sneak or not. Turns out he wasn't. And another one would have been really key because at +6, everybody is in range. And here, for a couple reasons. I lose rocks, and then, while the Lava Plume helped me earlier, here it absolutely cost me because I think, because Flamethrower KO's there. And having to use another turn to get rid of Druddigan, and not having Jumpluff come in at full health, and now not having Magcargo, my win condition is out the door. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking in the moment that I've got Boltund. Boltund is going to help me get, break through the final steps here. Steelix is still a huge issue, and looking at my old team, nobody can both come in and break through Avalugg at this point. And I realized then that the match was essentially over because I didn't have enough firepower. I didn't have any setup prowess. Primeape might have been useful here, but really having more threats to set up, because here he's played patiently. He brings in Steelix. Steelix is a huge problem for my team at this point. I get the lucky Scald Burn again. Really this match shouldn't have been this close given those burns. Surf might have killed. Again, not being able to break through. Calm Mind here could have changed everything. And obviously at this point, stupid me, he's in range to KO for Hurricane, but not in range for Revelation Dance, and he gets the wish off, and I miss the Hurricane. And at this point, Jumpluff comes in, but who is Jumpluff, really being supported by now? I don't have anything to take the Fairy type moves from Aromatisse, especially at +2. And I'm going to skip through here. At this point, he's stalling me out, but you can see even Life Orb +2, Modest, Bolton just doesn't do enough. And so here I go for the Haxie play. I'm trying, I've got Nuzzle to get Aromatisse paralyzed. I'm going to try and fish for Paralyze on Aromatisse and just see, can I get lucky? And I don't. And again here, this is where Calm Mind instead of Taunt could have made a huge difference. Well, I think at this point, with Moonblast doing what it needed to do, and it being so powerful, and me not having a Steel type or any other resist at this point, it's a tough situation. My opponent played this really well. This is where I think, not having a poison type attacker on the team really hurts. I've got secondary stab, but it's not the same. I haven't quite addressed that. I'll talk about that in my next video. But after this match, it was like, look, I've played some really great opponents, and Tiger played great. But my team just isn't gelling the way I thought it would when I drafted it. So anyway, good game, Tiger. I am going to be gunning for you in the playoffs. You better be ready for all of the setup sweepers. But good luck the rest of the season, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.